The vase shattered before anyone could stop it. The sound cracked through the luxury hotel lobby like lightning striking glass, sharp and violent against the polished quiet. Porcelain exploded outward, white fragments bursting across the marble floor in a chaotic spray. Some pieces skidded beneath velvet armchairs, others clinked delicately as they slid under rolling suitcases. A few shards bounced once, twice, then settled, chiming softly as if mocking the sudden stillness that followed. Amara's breath caught painfully in her throat. Her trembling hands flew to her mouth as her heart slammed against her ribs, every beat loud in her ears. I'm so sorry," she cried, the words tumbling out in panic as she stepped back. Her shoes crunched against the broken pieces, the sound making her flinch. Heads turned. Conversations died mid-sentence. The entire lobby seemed to inhale at once. Jinwoo Kang froze. He had walked through this lobby hundreds of times. Early mornings, late nights, surrounded by assistants, investors, security. Deals had been negotiated here. Power had been displayed here without a single word spoken. The Kang Group logo gleamed discreetly behind the front desk, a silent reminder of who owned this space. Of all the ways he had imagined his day unfolding, watching a stranger destroy a priceless Ming-era vase was not one of them. Yet his gaze never went to the shattered porcelain. It locked onto her. Amara stood rigid, shoulders squared too tightly, as if bracing for impact. Her chest rose and fell rapidly, but her eyes burned, not with fear, but with something sharper. Indignation. She swallowed once, then straightened her spine, forcing her voice to steady. "It wasn't my fault," she said quickly, pointing at a tall man in a charcoal suit who was already edging backward, eager to disappear into the crowd. "He pushed me. I was just trying to help the little girl who dropped her purse." The suited man scoffed loudly, the sound cutting through the tension. "Lies!" he snapped, throwing his hands up. "You bumped into me and now you're making excuses." His gaze swept over Amara in a single dismissive glance. Her neat but simple dress, her braids pulled back hastily, her worn shoes. His lip curled faintly. "People like you always do." The words landed with brutal precision. A hush rippled through the lobby, thick and uncomfortable. Amara's breath stuttered. "People like me?" she repeated, disbelief flaring hot in her chest. Her hands curled into fists at her sides, nails biting into her palms. She had heard those words before, in offices, in stores, in places where she wasn't supposed to belong. They never stopped hurting. Jinwoo felt something tighten behind his sternum. His jaw set as he stepped forward before he consciously decided to. "She's telling the truth," he said calmly, his voice low but carrying effortlessly across the lobby. Conversation stopped completely.
This is completely
now.
unacceptable. You will apologize for this
apologize
immediately.
to her.
It was an accident.
The suited man turned sharply,
gentlemen.
ready to fire back, then froze. Recognition hit him like ice water. Jinwoo Kang stood barely a few feet away, expression unreadable, eyes dark and steady. CEO of Kang Group. He swallowed hard, Adam's apple bobbing. I didn't realize." "Apologize," Jinwoo repeated, his tone unchanged. The man bowed stiffly toward Amara. "I'm sorry," he muttered, then retreated quickly, vanishing into the crowd as if the floor might swallow him whole. Silence lingered. Jinwoo turned back to Amara. Up close, he noticed the fine tremor in her hands, despite her attempt at composure, the shallow way she breathed as adrenaline drained from her system. "Are you hurt?" he asked. "No," she breathed, shaking her head, "just embarrassed." She hesitated, then added quietly, "I shouldn't even be in places like this." The honesty of the statement struck him harder than any accusation could have. There was no self-pity in her tone, only resignation, learned too early. He studied her face, the set of her jaw, the pride she was trying not to lose in front of strangers. Something unpolished and painfully real radiated from her. "What's your name?" he asked, before he could stop himself. She blinked, surprised. "Amara." "Jinwoo," he replied. Her eyes widened a fraction, recognition dawning. A breath escaped her in a soft huff. "Of course you are." A corner of his mouth almost lifted. Almost. And just like that, without either of them realizing it, everything shifted. Hours later, the lobby had returned to its pristine calm. The broken vase was gone, replaced seamlessly by a tall arrangement of white lilies. It was as if nothing had happened. Amara crouched near the front desk beside a small girl with tear-reddened eyes. She held out a bright pink purse. "You dropped this earlier," she said gently. The girl's face lit up instantly. "My purse!" Her mother rushed forward, bowing repeatedly, gratitude spilling out in hurried words. "Thank you so much. Thank you." Amara waved it off with an awkward smile. "It's nothing." She straightened, glancing around as if suddenly aware of the opulence again, and quietly headed for the exit. "Wait." She turned, startled, to find Jinwoo a few steps behind her. "Why are you following me?" she asked, tension creeping back into her voice. "Do I still owe you for the vase? I swear I'll pay, even if it takes years." "I don't care about the vase," he said. She stopped short. "You don't?" "No." He hesitated, something unfamiliar tightening in his chest. "I need your help." Her brows knitted together. "My help?" He took a breath. "I need someone. A woman. Someone bold. Someone who won't be intimidated by my family." "Your family?" "I need a fake fiancée." Amara stared at him, waiting for the punchline that never came. The city noise hummed faintly behind them. The rush of traffic, the distant call of a street vendor, the soft whoosh of the hotel's revolving doors opening and closing. Jinwoo Kang stood there as if he had just asked her for the time. Posture straight, expression controlled, eyes searching her face with an intensity that made her skin prickle. What?" she finally said. "A fake fiancé," he repeated, slower this time, as if the words might sound more reasonable if given space. She let out a short, incredulous laugh. "Is this a prank?" "No." "Hidden cameras?" She glanced around, half expecting someone to jump out. "No." "You want me, a complete stranger, to pretend to be the future wife of a billionaire CEO?" "Yes." The certainty in his voice unsettled her more than hesitation would have. Silence stretched between them, thick and awkward. Amara crossed her arms, grounding herself. "Why?" she asked. "Why me?" Jinwoo looked past her for a moment, jaw tightening. "My parents are forcing me into an arranged marriage, a very public one. I need to convince them I'm already engaged." "So hire an actress," she said. "A model, someone who already knows how to pretend." He met her gaze again. "Because you don't adore me." She frowned. "Excuse me?" "You didn't flatter me. You didn't ask for anything. You didn't even look impressed." He paused. "And when someone pushed you, you didn't crumble. You fought." Her chest tightened despite herself. She shook her head. "You're insane." "Possibly. I'm not cut out for your world. I'll teach you everything." The words landed heavier than he intended. Amara looked away, eyes tracing the pavement. "I have a family that depends on me," she said quietly. "I can't just disappear." "You won't disappear," he replied. "I'll make sure they're taken care of." She laughed again, but there was no humor in it. "You say that like money fixes everything." "It doesn't," he said, "but it helps." Her breathing changed, shallow and uneven. Fear rose first, sharp and familiar, but hope followed close behind, dangerous in its softness. "How long would I have to pretend?" she asked. 3 months. "And after that?" "We part ways." That should have made it easier. It didn't. "I need time to think," she whispered. Jinwoo nodded immediately, as if he had expected nothing else. He reached into his jacket and handed her a card. "Tomorrow, same place. 10 a.m. Amara took it with unsteady fingers and walked away without looking back. She didn't sleep that night. She paced the small room she shared with her siblings, careful not to wake them. The fan rattled overhead, pushing warm air across her skin. She stopped by the window, staring out at the quiet street below, counting breaths, counting the seconds between passing cars. 3 months, just pretending. She told herself that over and over. But she also thought about the stack of unpaid bills tucked into her bag, about her mother's tired smile, about her youngest brother's school uniform growing too small. Hope scared her more than fear ever had. When dawn finally crept through the curtains, she hadn't slept at all. Jinwoo stood exactly where he said he would, suit immaculate, eyes shadowed with fatigue. He checked his watch too many times. When he saw Amara walking toward him, something loosened in his chest that he hadn't realized was clenched. She stopped a step away. "Okay," she said simply. "I'll do it." Relief washed over him so fast it was almost embarrassing. "Thank you." She lifted a finger. "But don't expect perfection. I've never even been on a plane before." "That doesn't matter. And I won't allow anyone to treat me like trash. You have my promise." She hesitated, then added, "And I'm not going to fall in love with you." He stiffened. "That's not part of the plan." "Good," she muttered, though her heart betrayed her with a nervous flutter. 2 days later, Amara stood at the foot of a private jet, staring up at it like it might bite her. Her legs trembled as she climbed the stairs. Jinwoo's hand hovered at her back, close enough to steady her without pressing. "You're safe," he said softly. She gripped the leather seat as the engines roared. "If I die," she whispered, "my mother will haunt you. I'll keep that in mind." The flight was long. Jinwoo showed her photos of his parents, explained Korean dining etiquette, demonstrated how to bow. She practiced phrases in Korean with dramatic exaggeration, mangling the sounds so badly he couldn't stop a laugh. "Your pronunciation lessons suck," she declared. "I'm literally Korean." "And I'm literally confused," she nudged him. He smiled, actually smiled, and she caught it. "Is that a smile from Mr. Iceberg?" "I don't smile." "You just did." "No, I didn't." "Yes, you did." "Stop staring at me. Then stop being funny." His ears reddened as he turned away. When the plane descended over Seoul, Amara pressed her face to the window. "It's so beautiful," she whispered. Jinwoo watched her instead. Wonder, fear, excitement, unguarded and real. He hadn't seen anything like it in years. The moment they stepped out of the airport, flashing lights exploded. Cameras, shouts. "Mr. Kang, is this your fiancée?" Amara froze. Jinwoo reached for her hand. "Just smile." Her fingers trembled in his, but she lifted her chin and smiled as cameras snapped wildly around them. And as they were rushed into the waiting car, Amara gasped, "Is this normal?" Jinwoo's voice was calm, almost grim. "No, this is only the beginning." The Kang family mansion rose behind iron gates like something carved out of another era. Cold stone, manicured hedges trimmed to perfection, security cameras watching every angle. Amara sat stiffly in the back seat as the gates slid open, her reflection wavering in the tinted glass. "If I faint," she said quietly, "don't let them drag me away." Jinwoo glanced at her, a corner of his mouth twitching. "I'll catch you." "I'm serious." "So am I." The car rolled to a stop beneath the grand entrance. A line of staff bowed in unison as Jinwoo stepped out. Amara followed, nearly tripping over the hem of the dress he had insisted she wear. It was elegant and unfamiliar, clinging in places she usually hid. Her pulse raced. Inside, the air smelled faintly of polished wood and expensive incense. Mrs. Kang approached first, her posture flawless, eyes sharp and assessing. She smiled without warmth. So this is her? Amara bowed awkwardly, recalling Jinwoo's rushed lesson. It's an honor to meet you, ma'am. Mrs. Kang's gaze lingered on her braids, her shoes, her accent. You have an interesting look. Jinwoo stepped closer. Mother. His warning was subtle, but clear. Mr. Kang appeared moments later, his presence commanding silence. His eyes swept over Amara like a ledger being evaluated. You move quickly, Jinwoo, he said. Engaged without our knowledge. I didn't need permission, Jinwoo replied evenly. A flicker of irritation crossed his father's face. Dinner was announced. The table was long enough to seat 20, though only 6 places were set. Amara sat beside Jinwoo, her back straight, hands folded tightly in her lap. Silverware gleamed. Dishes arrived in quiet procession. Conversation was polite but sharp-edged. What does your family do? Mrs. Kang asked. My mother is a tailor, Amara answered. My father passed when I was young. Unfortunate, Mrs. Kang murmured. And your education? I studied accounting. Did you finish? Not yet. The pause was deliberate. Jinwoo cut in smoothly. Amara plans to continue once we're settled. His father's eyes narrowed. Plans change. Halfway through dinner, a woman entered, beautiful, poised, dressed in silk. So Min. Her smile was too practiced. Jinwoo, she said softly, eyes flicking to Amara with open curiosity. You didn't tell me you were engaged. I didn't owe you an update, he replied. So Min's gaze sharpened. I see, she turned to Amara. You must be very brave. Amara returned her smile. Or very foolish. Something like amusement sparked in So Min's eyes. Later that night, Amara stood alone on the balcony, gripping the railing as cold air filled her lungs. She heard footsteps. You survived, Jinwoo said quietly. Barely. You did well. She turned to him. They hate me. They hate that they didn't choose you. Her laugh was soft and tired. That's worse. In the days that followed, scrutiny became constant. Stylists arrived unannounced. Etiquette tutors corrected her posture. Security followed her everywhere. Whispers trailed behind her in the halls. One afternoon, So Min cornered her in the garden. You won't last, she said pleasantly. You don't belong here. Amara met her gaze. Neither do lies, she replied. So Min's smile thinned. That night, Jinwoo found Amara in the library, surrounded by open books. What are you doing? Learning how not to embarrass you. He hesitated. You already don't. She looked up, surprised. That wasn't part of the deal. Neither was you being this brave, he said. Something unspoken passed between them, dangerous and quiet. And far above them, unseen, Mr. Kang watched from the security room, eyes cold, fingers steepled. He ordered a background check. The report arrived at dawn. Mr. Kang read it alone in his study, early light cutting across the desk in sharp, unforgiving lines. Page after page detailed Amara's life with ruthless efficiency: birth records, school transcripts, unpaid tuition balances, medical histories, eviction notices. Every struggle reduced to ink, every hardship framed as weakness. He closed the folder slowly. Predictable. When Amara came down for breakfast, she felt it immediately. The mansion was quieter. Servants avoided her eyes. Conversations died the moment she entered a room. Mrs. Kang greeted her with a smile that never quite reached her eyes. Jinwoo noticed the shift at once. Something's wrong, he murmured as they sat. Amara nodded. They've already decided who I am. Midway through the meal, Mr. Kang folded his newspaper with deliberate care. The sound echoed. Amara, he said calmly, walk with me. Jinwoo pushed back his chair. Father. Just a conversation, Mr. Kang replied, already standing. Amara followed him down a long corridor, her heart pounding louder with every step. The study door closed behind them with a soft click that sounded final. Mr. Kang gestured to the chair across from his desk. "Sit." She obeyed. He slid a folder toward her. "Tell me which part of this I'm supposed to ignore." Her hands shook as she opened it. Her life stared back at her. Financial records, hospital bills, school withdrawals, notes written by strangers who had never known her. Shame burned her throat. "I never said I was perfect," she whispered. "No," he agreed. "You said nothing at all. You let my son imagine the rest." "I didn't lie." "You omitted," he corrected coolly. "People like you see opportunity and take it." Her spine straightened. "I didn't come here for money." "Everyone comes here for something." "I came because he asked me," she said, voice steadier than she felt. "And because my family depends on me." Mr. Kang studied her, eyes cold and calculating. "You think my son is protecting you?" he said quietly. "But you are a liability." The door opened sharply. Jinwoo stood there, jaw clenched. "She's not." Mr. Kang rose slowly. "You disobeyed me." "I'm done obeying you." The air between them crackled with years of unspoken resentment. That evening, Jinwoo found Amara in her room, a suitcase open on the bed. Clothes lay scattered. "I'm leaving," she said, without looking at him. He crossed the room in 2 strides. "No. They're going to destroy me. They won't get the chance." She turned, eyes shining. "Your father already has." Jinwoo knelt in front of her. "I should have warned you. My family doesn't lose quietly." Her voice cracked. "I can't fight them." "You don't have to fight," he said softly. "Just don't disappear." Before she could answer, alarms erupted through the mansion. Red lights flashed across the walls. Footsteps thundered closer. Jinwoo's phone buzzed. One message, unknown number. "Stop digging." He grabbed Amara's hand. "We're leaving, now." Security flooded the corridors. Jinwoo pulled her through a narrow side passage, down a servant's staircase, and out into the garden. Cold night air burned her lungs as they ran. A guard shouted behind them. They vaulted hedges, her dress tearing, shoes slipping. Jinwoo dragged her toward a waiting car. "Sir," the driver began. "Drive!" The gates flew open as the car sped onto the road. Amara pressed her forehead to the window, trembling. "What did you do?" Jinwoo stared straight ahead. "I accessed files my father didn't want me to see." Her breath caught. "You exposed him." "Not yet," he said grimly. "But he knows I will." They drove until the city blurred into streaks of light. The car descended into an underground garage beneath one of Jinwoo's private properties. Silence crashed down when the engine stopped. Inside the apartment, Amara collapsed onto the couch. "I never should have agreed to this." Jinwoo sat across from her. "If you leave now, he wins." She laughed weakly. "He already has everything." "Not everything," Jinwoo said, pulling a flash drive from his pocket and setting it on the table. "I copied the files." Her eyes widened. "That's dangerous." "So is letting him continue." "What happens if this gets out?" "Prison," he said simply. "For him. Maybe for me." She stared at the drive, fear and awe twisting together. "You'd risk that?" "For the truth," he said. "And for you." Her voice dropped. This was supposed to be fake. "I know." The weight of it settled between them. Sirens wailed faintly somewhere outside. Jinwoo stood and locked the door. "Try to sleep," he said quietly. "Tomorrow, everything changes." Amara lay awake long after he left, staring at the ceiling. For the first time since she arrived in Korea, she understood the truth. She wasn't pretending anymore. Morning crept in through the narrow slit of curtains, pale and uncertain. Amara woke with her heart already racing, the events of the night crashing back before her eyes were fully open. For a moment, she didn't know where she was. The ceiling was unfamiliar, too clean, too quiet. Then she remembered the alarms, the running. Jinwoo's hand locked around hers, the flash drive sitting somewhere in this apartment like a loaded weapon. She sat up slowly, listening. No voices, no footsteps, just the distant hum of traffic far below. When she stepped into the living room, Jinwoo was already awake. He stood at the window, phone pressed to his ear, shoulders tense. He ended the call the moment he saw her. "You okay?" She nodded, though her throat felt tight. "Did they find us?" "Not yet," he said. "But my father's people are looking. He's furious." That implies he wasn't before. A corner of Jinwoo's mouth twitched, but his eyes stayed dark. "I rerouted my security. No staff tied to the mansion knows we're here." Amara wrapped her arms around herself. "How long can we hide?" "Long enough," he said. "Long enough to finish this." She glanced at the dining table. The flash drive lay there, small and harmless looking. "And after?" Jinwoo hesitated. "After depends on what's on that drive." They ate in silence. Every sound felt too loud, the clink of cutlery, the kettle clicking off. When Jinwoo finally opened his laptop and plugged in the drive, Amara's breath caught all over again. Folders bloomed across the screen. Dozens, hundreds. "This is more than I thought," Jinwoo muttered. Amara leaned closer. "That one," she said, pointing. "The one marked with dates." He clicked it. Documents filled the screen. Transfers, shell companies, offshore accounts. Her stomach twisted. "That's not just corruption," she whispered. "That's systematic." Jinwoo scrolled faster, jaw tightening. "Charity funds, government contracts. He funneled everything through subsidiaries." "And these?" She pointed to a list of names. His hand stilled. "Executives who questioned him. Board members who voted wrong. Journalists who got too curious." Amara felt cold spread through her chest. "Some of them just vanish." Jinwoo leaned back, hands trembling. "This is why he can't lose control." "So what do we do now?" she asked quietly. He met her gaze. "We hand it to the authorities. Quietly, all at once." "And your family?" "They'll survive," he said, then corrected himself. "They'll pretend they didn't know." Amara swallowed. "And you?" "I'll burn with him if I have to." The words scared her more than the files. Before she could respond, a knock sounded at the door. Both of them froze. Jinwoo's hand went instinctively to the drawer where he'd placed a gun he hoped he wouldn't need. He motioned for silence and moved toward the door. Another knock. Softer this time. "Jinwoo," a woman's voice called. "It's me." He stiffened. "Mother!" Amara's pulse roared in her ears. Jinwoo opened the door just enough to see Mrs. Kang standing in the hallway, dressed impeccably as always. Her eyes flicked past him, sharp and searching. "May I come in?" "No," Jinwoo said evenly. "Why are you here?" She sighed. For the first time since Amara had met her, the woman looked tired. "Your father doesn't know I'm here." "That's not reassuring." Mrs. Kang's gaze shifted to Amara. Something unreadable passed across her face. "You caused chaos." Amara straightened. "I didn't ask for this." "No," Mrs. Kang said quietly. "But you triggered it." Jinwoo stepped forward. "Say what you came to say." Mrs. Kang lowered her voice. "Your father has already contacted people who can make this disappear, including her." Amara's breath caught. "I won't let him," Mrs. Kang continued. "Not because I suddenly grew a conscience, but because if this explodes, it will destroy everything, including you." Jinwoo laughed sharply. "You're choosing damage control." "Yes," she said without shame, "and I'm choosing you." She reached into her bag and pulled out a thin envelope. "This contains safe passage, new IDs, a way out." Amara stared at it. You want us to run? I want you alive, Mrs. Kang said. Both of you. Jinwoo didn't take the envelope. What about the evidence? Her eyes hardened. Erase it. No, Amara said before she could stop herself. Both of them turned to her. No, Amara repeated louder. People were hurt. Lives were ruined. You don't get to bury that. Mrs. Kang studied her carefully. You're braver than I gave you credit for. And you're complicit, Amara shot back. Silence fell. Jinwoo reached for Amara's hand. We're not erasing it. Mrs. Kang closed her eyes briefly. When she opened them again, her expression was resigned. Then you've chosen war. She left without another word. The door shut softly behind her. Amara's knees nearly gave out. Jinwoo caught her, pulling her into his arms before she could protest. She stiffened for half a second, then collapsed against him. They'll come for us, she whispered. I know. She pulled back enough to look at him. You don't regret this? He shook his head. Do you? She thought of her family, of the mansion, of So-min's smile, of the names on that screen. No, she said firmly. Jinwoo nodded. Then we finish it. Outside, clouds rolled over the city, dark and heavy. Somewhere, phones were ringing, plans were forming, lines were being crossed, and in a quiet apartment above the streets of Seoul, a fake engagement had turned into something far more dangerous, something real. They didn't sleep again. By noon, Jinwoo had turned the apartment into a command center. Laptops open, phones vibrating silently with missed calls, curtains drawn tight. Amara sat at the table staring at the flash drive as if it might start breathing. Once we send this, she said quietly, there's no undo. Jinwoo nodded. I know. He had already contacted an independent investigative bureau, one his father had failed to buy years ago. They wanted originals, context, timelines, not chaos. The moment they start digging, Jinwoo said, my father will feel it. And then? Amara asked. Then he panics. As if summoned, Jinwoo's phone buzzed. You think you can escape your blood? His jaw tightened. He deleted it. Amara watched him. He's never spoken to you like this. He's never been cornered. They worked for hours. Jinwoo translated documents. Amara organized timelines, cross-checking numbers. Her accounting instincts kicked in. You missed one, she said, pointing. That transfer loops back through the foundation. He launders it twice. Jinwoo stared. How did I miss that? Because you didn't want it to be this bad. He nodded. Thank you. By evening, everything was ready. Jinwoo hovered over the send button. Amara inhaled. Do it. He clicked. Upload received. Investigation initiated. The room went still. Jinwoo leaned back. That's it. Amara laughed weakly. That's it? Now we wait. Sirens wailed in the distance. Jinwoo checked the window. Unmarked cars idled below. Not police, he said. My father. Amara's stomach dropped. We're leaving, Jinwoo said. Now. They moved fast. Passports, cash, burner phones from Mrs. Kang's envelope. At the service exit, Amara glanced back. This started with a broken vase. Jinwoo snorted. My father hated that vase. They melted into the evening crowd. Trains, transfers, no mistakes. On the train, Amara finally breathed. Neon lights streaked past. She looked at him. When this ends, what happens to us? Jinwoo stared ahead. I'll lose everything. Your company? My name. And you're okay with that? He met her gaze. I've never been more certain. Her chest tightened. This was supposed to be temporary. I know. And now? His voice dropped. Now I don't know how to pretend. The train rocked gently as it cut through the outskirts of the city, the rhythm steady but never comforting. Amara sat rigid, hands clasped in her lap, eyes fixed on her reflection in the darkened window. Every tunnel felt like a held breath. Every stop felt like danger. Jinwoo sat beside her, close enough that she could feel his warmth without touching. His eyes tracked the aisle, counted exits, memorized faces. Years of being controlled had trained him for this kind of vigilance. "You're shaking," he said quietly. "No, I'm not." He covered her hands with his. They were cold. "You are." She didn't pull away. Instead, she exhaled slowly. "I keep thinking someone will say my name. Loudly. Like I've done something wrong." "You haven't." "I know," she said. "But knowing doesn't stop the fear." The train slowed. Doors slid open. Two men stepped in, dark coats, eyes too alert. Jinwoo's spine stiffened. "Don't look," he murmured. Amara stared straight ahead, heart slamming. The men scanned the car. One paused, gaze lingering on Jinwoo a second too long. Jinwoo leaned closer, lowering his head as if whispering something intimate. His arms slid around her shoulders, casual, convincing. "Smile," he breathed. She did, small and nervous, like a woman listening to something tender. The man's gaze moved on. When the door shut and the train pulled away, Amara sagged against Jinwoo, breath leaving her in a rush. That was them. Yes. Why didn't they stop us? Because they're not supposed to be obvious. Yet. They exited 3 stops later. Then another train, then a bus, then they walked. By the time they reached the safe house, a modest apartment above a closed bookstore, the sky had fully darkened. Jinwoo unlocked the door and ushered her inside, locking it behind them. The space was small, clean. 1 bedroom, a narrow kitchen, a couch, no luxury, no cameras, no staff. Amara looked around slowly. "This is simple." He nodded. "I like it." She glanced at him. "You sound surprised." "I am," he admitted. "I forgot what quiet feels like." She sat on the couch, exhaustion finally dragging her down. "What happens now?" "Now we wait for the bureau to move," Jinwoo said. "Once they do, my father will deny everything. He'll sacrifice people. He might even sacrifice me." "And your mother?" His jaw tightened. "She'll survive. She always does." Hours passed. Jinwoo refreshed the news repeatedly. Amara lay back, eyes open, replaying everything from the shattered vase to the alarms. Her phone buzzed. She froze. Unknown number. She looked at Jinwoo. "It's ringing. Don't answer." It stopped. A message appeared. "You can still walk away." Another followed. "He will fall. You don't have to fall with him." Her chest tightened. "It's him." Jinwoo's face hardened. "Block it." She hesitated. "What if—" "Amara," he said firmly. "That's how he wins." She blocked the number. Moments later, Jinwoo's phone rang. He stared at the screen, then answered. "What?" So Min's voice cut through, sharp and furious. "Where is she?" "That's not your concern." "She dragged you into this," So Min snapped. "Do you have any idea what you've done?" Jinwoo laughed once, humorless. "You mean what my father's done?" "He's protecting you," So Min said. "He's protecting the family." "No," Jinwoo replied coldly. "He's protecting himself. You're throwing everything away for a woman you barely know." Jinwoo looked at Amara, standing quietly in the dim room, fear and resolve etched into her face. "I know her enough." He ended the call. Amara swallowed. "She hates me. She hates that you broke the illusion." "I didn't mean to." Jinwoo crossed the room and stopped in front of her. "You don't have to mean to change things. You just do." Her voice trembled. "I'm scared." He nodded. "So am I." She searched his face. "Then why does it feel like you're not running anymore?" He answered without hesitation. "Because I'm finally choosing something." Her heart pounded. "Choosing what?" His voice was low. "You." She wasn't shaking anymore. Morning arrived without ceremony. No sunlight through wide windows, No staff moving quietly through halls, just the hum of the city below and the faint creak of the building settling. Amara woke on the couch, stiff and disoriented, her mind taking a moment to remember where she was. The quiet felt fragile, like it could shatter at any second. Jinwoo was already awake, seated at the small kitchen table, laptop open, jaw set. He hadn't slept. She could see it in the shadows under his eyes, in the way his shoulders stayed tense even while still. "Anything?" she asked softly. He nodded once. The bureau moved faster than expected. Her heart jumped. "Is that good or bad?" "Both." He turned the laptop so she could see. Headlines populated the news feeds. Vague at first, anonymous sources, internal audits, an unnamed conglomerate under investigation for financial misconduct. "That's your father," she whispered. "Yes." "What happens now?" "Now he fights back publicly," Jinwoo said. "Privately, he already has." His burner phone vibrated. A message appeared. "You have made a serious misjudgment. Return home. We can still fix this." Amara felt the chill immediately. "He still thinks you'll fold." Jinwoo deleted it. "He raised me to fold. He forgot I'm not a child." The day dragged forward under tension. News alerts chimed. Analysts speculated. Stock prices wavered. The Kang Group issued a statement denying everything. "He's buying time," Amara said. "Yes," Jinwoo agreed. "He hopes it dies." It didn't. By afternoon, more reports dropped. Details sharpened. The Bureau confirmed an active investigation. Names surfaced. Subsidiaries. Shell companies. The Foundation. Amara watched Jinwoo's face as he read. "This is real." "It always was," he said. "Now it's visible." Another call came. Jinwoo stared at the number, then answered. "What?" Mr. Kang's voice was calm and cold. "You think you've won?" Jinwoo stayed silent. "You've humiliated me, endangered the company, endangered yourself." "You did that," Jinwoo replied quietly. A pause, then softer. "Come home." "No, you're choosing her over your blood." Jinwoo looked at Amara, fear and resolve coexisting in her eyes. "I'm choosing what's right." A sharp laugh. "There is no right. Only power." "Then you've already lost," Jinwoo said, and ended the call. Amara exhaled. "That's it?" "That's it," he said. "He won't call again." "How do you know?" "Because now he's afraid." They moved again before nightfall. Another safe place, smaller, less traceable. Jinwoo refused to stay still. Every knock made Amara flinch. Every siren tightened her chest. She stopped him once. "If this gets worse, if I become a liability, promise me something." He frowned. "What?" "Don't protect me by destroying yourself." Silence. Then he nodded. "We survived together. Or not at all." Night fell with rain tapping softly against the windows. They sat on the floor, backs against the couch, exhaustion settling in. "I agreed because I needed money," Amara said quietly. "I thought it would be pretending." "And now?" Jinwoo asked. "Now I don't know how to go back." He looked at her. "Neither do I." She leaned her head against his shoulder. He stiffened, then relaxed, resting his cheek against her hair. Jinwoo's phone buzzed again. A news alert. Kang Group chairman questioned by authorities. Amara looked up. "It's starting." "It won't be quick," he said, "or clean. But it's happening." "Yes," she exhaled. "Then whatever comes next, we face it." Jinwoo didn't answer. He tightened his arm around her shoulders instead. A quiet promise. Far away, a man who believed himself untouchable stared at screens full of damage. And in a small, unremarkable room, a fake fiancé became the one thing Jinwoo Kang refused to lose. Days blurred together after that. Not dramatic days, not explosive ones. Just long, nerve-tight stretches of waiting where everything felt suspended, like the world was holding its breath. Amara learned the rhythm of hiding. Wake early, check locks, keep curtains half drawn. Speak softly. Jinwoo stayed alert but calmer now, as if the choice he'd made had finally settled into his bones. The news no longer felt distant. Names were printed in full. Executives were questioned. Accounts frozen. The Kang Group's stock dropped hard, then harder. Analysts called it unprecedented. Commentators spoke about betrayal, about heirs turning on legacies. Jinwoo didn't watch those segments. He didn't need to. One evening, Amara found him standing by the window, phone in hand, unread messages stacked on the screen. "You're not answering them," she said. "I don't need to," he replied. "That life already ended." She studied him. "Do you miss it?" He considered the question carefully. "I miss who I thought I was supposed to be, not who I actually was." She nodded. That made sense. They were quieter with each other now. Less adrenaline, more honesty. They talked about things that had nothing to do with danger. Her childhood, his university years abroad, the strange freedom of anonymity. Sometimes they laughed, surprised by it. Sometimes silence stretched comfortably between them. One afternoon, a call came from the bureau. Jinwoo put it on speaker. "Chairman Kang has been formally charged," the investigator said. "Financial crimes, obstruction, abuse of power." Amara felt something loosen in her chest. Jinwoo closed his eyes briefly. "Thank you," he said. When the call ended, neither of them spoke for a long moment. "It's really over," Amara whispered. "For him," Jinwoo said. "Yes." "And for you?" He turned to her. "For me, it's a beginning." They moved one last time, not out of fear, but intention. A small city by the water, no history, no expectations. Jinwoo registered under his mother's surname. Amara found work again, quietly, on her own terms. No contracts, no pretending. One morning, as they walked along the harbor, Amara stopped. "You know," she said, "we never talked about what happens now, between us." Jinwoo didn't joke, didn't deflect. He faced her fully. "No contracts," he said. "No deals." Her heart beat faster. "And no pretending?" "Especially not that." She smiled, slow and real. "Then I stay." He reached for her hand, tentative even now. "So do I." Behind them, the past continued collapsing under its own weight. Ahead of them, nothing was guaranteed. But for the first time, that uncertainty didn't feel like a threat. It felt like choice.